You've probably heard of lunar and solar eclipses before, and maybe you have even seen one or two. But what are they and how do they work? Today we take a closer look at lunar eclipses. An eclipse is when two celestial objects line up in such a way that one casts a shadow on the other. Or a different way to look at it is that one object is blocking out the sun as viewed from another object. It is a particular type of syzygy, which is a fancy word for alignment. For us here on Earth, eclipses can be broken down into two main categories, solar and lunar. In today's video, we will focus on lunar eclipses, which is where the Earth casts a shadow on the moon. Lunar eclipses can in turn be broken down into three types: total, partial, and penumbral. Before we talk about these types, we need to introduce some terminology. When you look at a shadow, you may notice that the edge of the shadow is not always sharp, but rather is somewhat fuzzy. This fuzzy region is called the penumbra, where only some of the light is blocked. The dark part, where all the light is blocked, is called the umbra. The most dramatic type of lunar eclipse is total, where the moon is fully covered by the Earth's umbra. This often results in what people call a blood moon because it appears red to us. The color comes from indirect sunlight refracting through the Earth's atmosphere at a shallow angle, like what we see shortly after sunset or before sunrise. About 29% of all lunar eclipses are total. Next is partial, where the moon only partially enters the Earth's umbra. From our view, there is a stark contrast between the part of the moon in the umbra and the part in the penumbra. It almost looks like someone took a bite out of the moon. About 35% of all lunar eclipses are partial. Finally, we have penumbral eclipses. This is where the moon does not enter the umbra at all, but only passes through the penumbra. These eclipses are usually more subtle, only slightly dimming one part of the moon. How dim depends on how close it gets to the umbra. About 36% of all lunar eclipses are penumbral. In 2020, we happen to have 4 lunar eclipses, all of them penumbral. Early in the morning of November 30th is the last one of the year, and it is visible across North America. As far as penumbral eclipses go, it is a pretty good one, coming very close to the Earth's umbra. The eclipse will start at 12:32 a.m. Arizona time, reaching a maximum at 2:43 a.m. and end at 4:53 a.m. But wait, if the moon goes around the Earth once a month, why don't we get eclipses all the time? The reason is that the moon's orbit is not in the same plane as Earth's orbit around the sun, but is inclined by about 5 degrees. That is enough that usually the moon passes well above or below the Earth's shadow, meaning we don't get an eclipse. Only if the moon happens to be crossing Earth's orbit, known as the ecliptic, during full moon do we get a lunar eclipse. The points in the moon's orbit where it crosses the ecliptic are called the nodes. This crossing happens at regular intervals, so eclipses can be predicted many hundreds of years in advance. Every 5.8 months, we get what is called an eclipse season, which can last for about 35 days. In this period, we also get 1 or 2 lunar eclipses, so in a calendar year, there are always between 2 and 5 altogether. Longer term, there is something called a saris cycle, which lasts about 18 years. In one saris, the Earth and Moon come to nearly identical positions relative to the Sun, so eclipses will be nearly identical. So the years 2002 and 2038 have nearly identical eclipses to 2020. This cycle has been known since ancient times. Culturally, lunar eclipses have been seen as mystical in some way, often as a celestial beast devouring the moon. For example, ancient Egyptians envisioned a pig eating the moon, while the Maya and Inca envisioned a jaguar, and the Chinese saw a 3-legged toad. Often these cultures would make loud noises or throw things at the moon to try to scare the beast away. We hope you've enjoyed this episode of Space Bites, and don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Videos like these are made with support from viewers like you. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, many museums, such as ourselves, are asking for support. So share our video with your friends, or if you're able, please click the link in the description box below to help support us during these unprecedented times. Join us again next time, and stay hungry.